My daughter just contacted me after 17 years asking if I want to meet my granddaughter after I cheat on my ex-wife. Hello Reddit eyes plus here. I'm in my early 60s now, and after everything that's happened, I thought I'd made peace with my past. For the last 17 years, I've lived in a quiet kind of solitude, just me, my dog, and the memories I can't shake. I was married once. We had a daughter. She was everything to me back then, but I managed to throw it all away. I'm not making excuses. It was my own doing, a mistake that has haunted me every day since. It started during one of the rough patches in my marriage. I began an affair with a coworker. She was trapped in a violent, abusive relationship, and I was her lifeline, her way out. What started as friendship escalated into something more. I helped her escape her nightmare, but in doing so, I created one of my own. My wife found out, and as expected, our marriage crumbled. But what I didn't anticipate was losing my daughter, too. She was 15 at the time, old enough to understand betrayal, but too young to grasp how complex relationships can be. My wife, in her anger, poisoned our daughter's mind against me, filling her with venom that severed any connection we had left. I tried, God knows I tried, to fix things. But after a year of being met with silence, I gave up. I moved away, hoping distance would dull the pain. Life went on, or so I convinced myself. My ex-wife remarried, my daughter grew up without me, and eventually, I stopped waiting for her to come back. 17 years later, here I am. Retired, alone, with nothing but my dog and the echo of old regrets. My brother passed away, my parents are gone, and honestly, some days I feel like I'm just waiting for my turn. Then, out of nowhere, the phone rang. It was her, my daughter. I hadn't heard her voice in so long, yet I recognized it instantly. She was crying, telling me how she regretted cutting me out of her life. She apologized, said her mother had encouraged her to reach out. She told me she was married now and had a daughter of her own, a 12-year-old girl who wanted to meet her granddaddy. But here's the thing. I felt nothing. No surge of joy, no wave of relief, just emptiness. I listened as she poured her heart out, but inside I was numb. When she finally asked if I wanted to meet my granddaughter, I told her the cold, brutal truth. I didn't care about her or her daughter. I told her never to contact me again and hung up. I'd never felt so low, so hollow, yet so certain, or at least I thought I was. That night, I drank more than I should have. It wasn't long before I found myself on Reddit, spewing my story to the void, asking if I was the asshole for saying what I did. The replies were overwhelming, and the answer was unanimous. I was. The next morning, hungover and ashamed, I picked up the phone. I called her back, fully expecting her to ignore me, but she answered on the first ring. I apologized for what I'd said, and to my surprise, she told me I didn't need to. She started crying again. I told her that I'd changed my mind. If she wanted to visit, she was welcome. I explained that my sister and I would be leaving the country in 4 months, heading to a farmhouse our parents left us, where we'd spend the rest of our days. I gave her my address and told her she could come whenever she was ready, and she said she'd bring her family next week. For the first time in 17 years, I felt a flicker of something, a chance, maybe, to fix what I broke so long ago. Now, I wait, unsure of what the future holds. I don't know if I can ever be the father she wanted, or the grandfather her daughter deserves. But for the first time in years, I'm willing to try.